It's Monday, time for another book talk. Hope you all enjoyed your spring break. I know I did. Sort of glad to be back. It's early, but anyway. Read several books this week. I think I got 5 in. I had to turn most of them back into the library, so I'm going to show you some pictures. This one I did read on my phone. It's called Futuristic Violence in Fancy Suits. It is by the guy who wrote John Dies at the End, and This Book is Full of Spiders, if you're familiar with those. It's kind of weird, I'll just go ahead and say that. It's good if you like books with action, explosions, crazy bad guys, futuristic technology, and cat jokes. So I would definitely recommend it. Futuristic Violence in Fancy Suits by David Wong. I also read this one on my phone, and I've returned it to reads if you want to try to check it out. It's called A Darker Shade of Magic. This one was really very cool, I thought, the way they did their particular sorts of magic. There's a lot of talk about color. The basic premise of the book is that there are alternate versions of London. The main character normally resides in what he calls Red London, in which magic is known. Some people can do magic. This main character does magic, but there's only a very few people that still can. But he is one of the very few people that can move between the different versions of London. All the different rulers are aware that there are alternate versions, but the people in the cities are not. So anyway, he travels between Red London to White London, which everybody in White London knows magic exists, but they don't know about the other Londons. And then there's Grey London, in which nobody knows that magic exists. So it's very interesting to see the interactions between the person that can move between the different Londons and the people within. There's a lot of conspiracy. It is kind of bloody in parts because part of what they do to use their magic involves blood. So it is a little gruesome in some areas, but it was very captivating to me. I would definitely recommend it. And I've already got book 2 on hold. I will be ordering both of them for our library. I also read Girl at War, which is very different than the other books that I read. This is a realistic book about a girl who survived the civil war in Bosnia, Sarajevo, Croatia. She talks a lot about her experiences during that time. I don't think it's actually based on a true story, but those events that surround the story did happen, so it's a lot about going through that experience and how you deal with that aftermath. She does go back to her home and meet up with a childhood friend and revisit a lot of memories that were very painful. So it's not a very fun book, but it was very interesting. I also read 6 of Crows. I read this one in print, but I turned it back into the public library already, so if you want to check it out, it's there. This is 6 of Crows by Bardugo. If you have read, I can't remember right offhand what her other books' titles are, but it's related to a previous trilogy that she wrote. It's set in the same universe. It is a fantasy. There are people who can do magic. Their magic is either based on weather or the human body, controlling the human body, or controlling materials, and they all have different names based on what they can do. In this particular book, there are members of kind of an organized crime group in this city, and it's kind of very steampunky feeling Russia, and the main characters are trying to assemble a group to go and break into what they call the Ice Palace, the Ice Castle, and nobody's ever been able to infiltrate this ice castle before, and they're going to go in and kidnap a scientist who has created a drug that not only makes a Grisha's powers super ridiculously powerful, but it also enslaves them to that drug and makes them able to be controlled by others. So, if you like that sort of thing, definitely check it out. And lastly, as part of my Hub Challenge, I read Humans of New York Stories, which we do have in the library. According to the author, this particular version of Humans of New York, as opposed to this other one that we have, this one is supposedly focused more on the stories of the people. But as you can see, there's some paragraphs. There are some paragraphs, but also if you follow Humans of New York on Facebook, it's really very similar to scrolling through several months of Humans of New York. So if you like that, come check it out in physical format. Of course, it's a lot of very interesting experiences that people have. So, if you read some books over the break, don't forget to come and get one of these forms if you don't have one. If you do have one, make sure you turn it in by the 30th. If you bring us a form, I'll give you a treat from my treat basket, and we'll also enter you into a drawing to possibly win a prize. So, do it. Thanks. Bye.